This episode of Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self is brought to you by the 21-Day Challenge. And if you're an entrepreneur or a high achiever and you feel like you've hit a plateau, you feel stuck, you feel overwhelmed, or you just feel like you're not growing as fast as you could, being your greatest possible self, then the 21-Day Challenge might be the perfect fit for you. Who's this right for? It's right for people who want to go all in to achieve their next level of success, fulfillment, happiness, or results in whatever area that is. What you do in the 21-Day Challenge is set a single-minded target, single-minded focus goal for 21 days. And for 21 days, you will receive the support of one-on-one coaching to achieve that goal. Every day, daily check-ins, making sure that you're on track, completing your assignments, weekly calls, 1-hour calls, deep dive calls, making sure that you are deprogramming and releasing the unserving beliefs, the things that have kept you stuck, stopped, or stalled in achieving your greatness, in achieving your goals. So that's what the 21-Day Challenge is. And over 21 days, I would love to help you do that. Get dialed in with your habits, with your routines, figure out and get clarity on your ultimate long-term goal so that your 21-day goals, you're motivated to achieve it. You're tapped into your why, all that good stuff. So if that's of interest to you, if you feel like you are a possible candidate for the 21-Day Challenge, send me a message, facebook.com/th3burns, or an email, chris@beyourgps.com, and be sure to let us know that you're interested in that. What will happen is we'll send you a intake form, and once you complete that, get it back to us. We'll see if you're a good fit for the program. It is not for everyone. It's not for people who want to complain and have excuses and don't want to follow through and don't want to operate with integrity and honesty. It is for people who are looking for a jumpstart. It is for people who want to take their performance to the next level, who want to have their butt kicked or want to have the ability to kick their own butt and show up as their greatest possible self. So if that's of interest to you, send me a message. I would love to get in contact with you and see if it's a good fit. Very good. And also, we do have an iTunes review of the week, which I'm going to pull up right now. And the iTunes review of the week is from, who's it from? We're going to find out who's it from because I look in my phone to find out which iTunes review of the week I want to use. Let's see. How about Luna Goon? I haven't read this one. Luna Goon, value packed, taking you to the next level. Chris is an incredible interviewer. He is super smart, silly, and has a gigantic heart of gold. He genuinely cares for his fans and bends over backwards to deliver high-end value for everyone he meets. This is a must listen. I recommend making time for it every week. Thanks, Chris, for your continued contributions. So if you want to give us a review, go to beyourgps.com/iTunes, and you can leave us a review there. We appreciate it. We appreciate the feedback. Thank you so much in advance for doing that. This episode, this single episode with myself, is focused on calling in your creations, why your affirmations haven't been working for you, and what to do about it. Okay. So this episode, the whole marathon, it's August 22nd when we're recording this. The whole marathon is focused on calling in your creations. Now, I have been achieving some extraordinary, awesome results in my life because of this mindset of calling in your creations. But before we get there, I want to dive into what that means for me. What does it mean to call into your creation, and why is that important in my life? Because I ask the same question to every guest who comes on the show today. What does it mean to you, and why is that important for you? So for me, calling in your creations, it means being the creator of your reality, being the author of your story, being the architect of your life so that you can have, be, and do anything that you want. And it is the process by which you go from not having something, at least in your mind, at least in your present circumstances, to achieving it, to having it, to accomplishing your goal. So that's what it means to call in your creation. Like, you literally create it, you design it in your mind, you think about it, what's inspiring, what moves me, and then you start creating it. What does that look like? It could look like a lot of different ways. Could look like actions, could look like sales calls, could look like telling people you're going to do it, could look like Facebook Lives, could look like writing your book, could be meditating, could be anything, visualizing. There's so many different ways, but what it essentially is lining up, becoming aligned with that goal. Who do you have to become to achieve that? Who do you have to become to attract that? Who do you have to become to create that reality, to create that accomplishment? So that's what it means calling in your creations. That's what it means to me. And I love this concept. I love this topic because I believe we're infinitely potential. I believe that we have the possibility of being, doing, and having anything that we set our mind to. So for me, my biggest mission in life is, how do I get the tools and the skills and the abilities to make that actually happen? It sounds great. And that might even be what you're saying. Like, Chris, this sounds great, but I'm going to call BS on you. Do you have everything you want? Do I have everything I want? No. Like, do I have, Chris? Do I? No. Do you listening? No. Right? But there's room for growth. There's room for developing the abilities. There's room for having more patience and persistence. Because I believe it's Abraham Hicks says, if you don't have something that you want, then there's beliefs in the way that prevent you from getting it. Beliefs that it has to take a long time. Because if you don't have it, then it means that you don't believe like you have what you need. You don't believe that you can get it as you are now. And maybe if you just say, hey, I want it, you'll get it in a second. So if so, do that and get your stuff right now. But for anyone who is not in that camp of just turning on the switch and getting what they want, and it seems like it's been taking a long time, seems like it's been taking longer than it should. It seems like you're frustrated and like, when is it going to happen? Or maybe you're still excited and you're still excited about the goal and you know it's going to happen. You have faith, but it just hasn't happened yet. This is the perfect talk and the perfect section and interview, solo interview for you. So stick around, because we're going to be diving into what it means to call in your creations specifically in your life, and how to do that. How do you actually do that? Why it's important to get that superpower in alignment for you in your life. And then also, what does it look like? What does it look like moving forward to be able to call in your creations? And we're going to give you some tools, some access on how to do that, and ideas and structure, process, all that good stuff. So let's start with my journey today, where I'm at. Where I'm at is I am totally calling in my creations. Like, it seems like it's getting faster and faster and more inspiring and inspiring. And the creations that I've called in, number one, is having a world-class business partner. He is just beyond his years in terms of skill, in terms of drive, in terms of abilities, in terms of intellect. It is incredible how brilliant and smart he is. So that's number one. I created him 2.5 years ago, right? When I recognized that I need a freaking team. I need a group of people who is going to support me to achieve my goals. Because I know I can't do it alone. Two, I really love doing it with others. So he's brilliant. He's helping us build out Burned Up Coaching and grow this company to be $1 billion company. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I received that awesomeness in my life. Number two, I called in my amazing dream woman earlier this year. And actually, let's start before that. After I met my business partner, I was in the process of moving to my next house, next location. And so me and my best friend at the time, we said, we are going to create this legendary house. And so we started working on it. We started visualizing it. We started speaking it into existence so that we could live in this legendary house. And then lo and behold, I believe it was like 6 months later, something like that, after we had started doing this process, we move into our dream house. We move into the legendary house, this beautiful house with such great energy. Everyone who came into the house said this house has such great energy. It's amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm going to definitely take a note on that, because that's important. It's important that there's a thing about that. House, keep nurturing energy. Cool. So I'm over here taking notes for anyone who's just listening to the podcast. So I created this legendary house. Me and my best friend, we moved in, and he's with his girlfriend. We have another roommate. And then it just is this amazing space and environment for us to achieve and accomplish our goals, grow, and become our greatest possible selves, which is so awesome. I'm like, yes, this is it. Legendary house. So we created that after, we sat down and visualized together, me and my best friend, Chris Manos, visualized together and created this thing together. And 6 months later, boom, there it is. So that was the legendary house. What else? Also, my dream woman, who I attracted this year in February, love you, baby. I attracted her. I created her. Let's see, I started creating her about 2 years ago. when my business partner asked me, what is my statement of purpose? And we went through this exercise, designing my vision, my mission, my strategy, my objectives, what my life is going to look like. And one of those is going to have the woman of my dreams, right? And so I get detailed on her. And of course, that evolves over time. But that started like 2 years ago. I first started journaling about that and exploring that and creating that about 2 years ago, getting clear. And I wrote down things like she's from Europe. She's multilingual. She's passionate about the arts. She's passionate about speaking. She's passionate about human beings. She's a force of love. She is integrity. She's honest. She is committed. She's strong. She's powerful. She's fit. She's sexy. She's beautiful. She has a gorgeous smile, dazzling eyes, dazzling smile, radiant glow about her. And of course, she has beautiful hair and she has perfect boobs and a perfect butt. She's perfect. She's the best freaking woman ever. And I start talking about this last year. I started sharing about it on the marathon. Literally, when there was a airtime where there wasn't any programming, there wasn't anyone who I was interviewing, or at the end of the day in the hour of power, running through the finish line kind of thing, celebrating, I would start talking about her. I would start talking as if now, like, oh my gosh, she's so amazing. We're going to Europe together. We go to Spain together. We get to hang out on the beach. We get to hang out on the cliffs overlooking the ocean and have these delicious meals. And then we go to these seminars together. We get to learn together. And of course, we jump on stage together. We're speaking together and we get to inspire audiences, moving people, thousands and thousands of people at a time. It's so amazing. She's she does she's into fashion. She is multi-talented. She's philanthropic, all these kinds of things, right? And what it was like going to galas together, to be able to, have fun. She speaks at these nonprofit events, inspires people. She's just the most amazing woman ever. So I started doing that last year, speaking about it, calling it in, and lo and behold, February, like I go to a mastermind and like immediately my soul, I didn't know, my brain didn't know, my brain didn't know, my soul, my source, my mind, deep subconscious mind knew, oh my gosh, this is her. like this feels good. This is fun. This is alive. This is, the energy is exactly what I've been looking for. So we hang out that night, have a beautiful night, and just hit it off. From the very, very beginning, she takes me through a meditation. I release some stuff, and we start manifesting, creating on the spot that very first night. It was beautiful. And if you want to know more about that, send me a message. I can tell you the story. But the one thing that I recognized is that I started calling these things in. And even better, here's an even better one for you people who want to know, how do I grow my freaking business? That's great, Chris. You got a relationship, you got you got this house, you're calling in these cool things, but I want more money. I want to grow myself and my money and my business. So really the big thing with all these, one is to not judge yourself. And we're going to be talking about a lot of different stuff in this session, but one is to not judge yourself for any of your creations, no matter where you're at, no matter how rudimentary, no matter how unclear, no matter how fuzzy. Give yourself the space to create it. Because when I first started doing this with my best friend Chris Manos, when we were creating the legendary house, I was super judgmental about what it was going to be like and what it looked like, and I was afraid to share what was important to me, and I could tell he was kind of awkward about it too in the beginning, but then we started doing it more and more and more, and it was amazing. It just got into this place of flow. Same thing with calling in my dream woman. I just got to this place. I was really uncomfortable talking about it in the beginning, and then I got to this place of flow, like, oh my gosh, it's just so easy. I'm going to keep talking about her. I'm going to keep creating her. She's coming. So I did that, and then with my girlfriend now, I did it another time. And what happened was I journaled about my perfect client, Determined David. Okay, Determined David, and who this guy is he's earning 6 figures. He is in a business or a job. He's really, really good at what he does, but he's not feeling fulfilled. He's not feeling like he's on purpose. He feels like he can expand his growth even more. He feels like it's kind of playing it safe, taking it the easy route in life, and he knows he's meant for so much more. He knows he has so much more potential within him, but he's not sure how exactly to draw it out. He's not 100% clear. He's invested in seminars, invested in personal development. He's got progress, but he's still missing that final touch, that laser beam focus on what to focus on and why, and then the consistency over long term to follow through with it. Because one of his challenges is he's good at a lot of stuff and he gets distracted because there's so many shiny objects. So it's important that he has someone by him making sure that he's staying the course, staying on track, because he's gotten distracted in the past, and it's hurt him. It's hurt him financially. It's hurt him, in his ability to be successful. So Determined David, 25 years old, just wanting to expand, become a bigger influencer. He's my perfect client. So I journal about him, talked about all these challenges and different stuff that he's going through. And I start speaking about him on the last freaking marathon. Okay. I journaled about him. Today's August 22nd at the time of this recording. I started journaling about him. I don't know, beginning of August, maybe, right? Started really investing time into this ideal perfect client. So I was doing that, and I start journaling about him, Determined David. And so I journal about him, and I start speaking about him on the last marathon, the 15th, August 15th, okay? I start speaking about Determined David and how awesome it is for me to work with him, how incredible it is, what our sessions are like, how he shows up, how his life has changed because of my coaching, and just how incredible of an experience it is. So Determined David, I start speaking about him, yada, yada, yada. It's a blast. Have so much fun. I love calling him my creations. And that was last Wednesday. Today's Wednesday, the 15th. And then Sunday, I think it was Sunday, my girlfriend sends me a text message saying, hey, this guy said he loves my podcast and he loves the message that I'm sharing. And we jumped on a call, and he's awesome. And I would love it for you to connect with him because he could be a great member of our mastermind. I say, cool, So I get on the phone with him and connect with him very, very quickly. That same day I sent him a message. It was really fast. When things are aligned, they happen fast. Okay. So I get on a phone call with him. And then that night we were having a mastermind. And I'm like, hey, you can totally join the mastermind, and we got our next call tonight, and here's the price. And he's like, cool, man, ready to go. I'm all in. Let's do it. 3-month commitment. I'm in this mastermind. So he joins, and he shows up, and it's an amazing call. Such great energy. He's real. He's authentic. He's driven. He's powerful. Just the type of people we have in our mastermind and continue to attract and create in our mastermind. So he's so amazing. And after I get off the call later that night, we have our call at 6, and then about 4 or 5 hours later, I'm journaling and thinking about my day, reflecting on the day, doing my nighttime routine. And I'm like, holy crap. My perfect client, his name is Determined David. And guess what the name of the guy who joined our mastermind is? It's freaking David. I was like, boom, mind blown, mind freaking blown. Oh my God. I was like, what the universe? You are scary. You're scarily powerful. You're powerful is in a good way, not scary. It is impressive. It is magnificent. It is speedy. It is delicious. It is amazing. It is inspiring. The universe is power. God, source, creator, universe, whatever, spirit, soul, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. I think a label is the last thing that the last priority, of identifying it. Although words matter, words are important. So there's this challenge of, it really doesn't matter what the label is. It's more about your relationship with the label, but words do have power. So what's the most appropriate, powerful, aligned word? I will find that out for you, and I'll tell you. At least in my belief, in my perspective and paradigm. Anyway, so I call in this guy David, and it's my perfect client, and I tell my girlfriend, I'm like, babe, did you know that his name's David? And my perfect client's name is Determined David? what? And so we just have a time to celebrate and really acknowledge that, and how powerful the universe is, how aligned we are when we're aligned. And really, I think the big thing here, by the way, it's not that I got the formula right. Like there's an essence of I did the right things, but it's not that I had to say the specific right things about who this man is. Like if I would have said he earns 200,000 instead of just like six figures or 100,000, like that wouldn't have mattered. What mattered was my focus on the energy, my focus on what I was creating, my specificity, my trust in knowing that it's coming to me, speaking about it. Okay. So we're going to talk about a couple different things that I believe made the biggest difference in creating all these things that are like miracles, and not miracles, but really, really cool stuff happening in my life. So if you're finding value in this, throw a thumbs up, throw a heart out in the comments. I love commenting or sharing about this. If you are enjoying it, let me know, send a comment, and let's keep this party rocking. Looks like I got a message. I don't know who messaged me. Anyways, you know how we do, blowing up, people and things blowing up all the time. So in a good way, blowing up, expanding, thriving. So a couple things that I believe make a huge, huge difference for you in this journey of calling in your creations. Number one, and for anyone who says I know that, or I've heard this before, or yada yada yada, Chris, you're a broken record. Good. You know how I freaking got to this point? It's called mastering the basics, ladies and gentlemen. You want to know how to call in your creations? Number one is get prepared to master the basics, and do not beat yourself up. Do not become impatient. Do not become righteous. Do not become justified. Do not become anything that would get in the way of simply allowing and being the person who calls in your creation. Okay. So if you've heard it before, say, great, I know that. And what else can I learn? What else can I master with this? How else can I better practice this? What is the distinction that Chris uses that maybe I haven't been applying? Listen for that. Listen for that stuff. Man, I know I'm 98% of the way there. I'm 99% there. I feel like I'm doing everything right. What's the one distinction? What's the thing that Chris does differently than me that allows him to create these results? What's the one result that Warren Buffett does? What's one thing that Warren Buffett does differently than me that allows him to create his incredible results? I'm gonna assert that there's probably more than one thing. There's probably a lot of things that these types of people who are billionaires do differently, because oftentimes people say, oh, it's just like shift one thing and you could change your whole reality. Yes, one idea can change your whole reality, but oftentimes there's a chain of ideas that get activated, a chain of habits that get activated. For example, you could say, well, as long as you're going out and making 40 calls a day, you're going to become a millionaire in whatever, a year. While that may be true, it is a possibility. The challenge is there's other beliefs that need to line up with that may not be aligned yet. What may not be aligned is that you're a loving, serving person rather than, someone who's like a con artist or something, someone who's being a bad person who's making 40 calls a day. They might get to that $1 million a year, but is it fulfilling? Is it truly in alignment? Or will they get themselves into trouble before they even get to that $1 million? So there's beliefs that I would recommend looking for. And by the way, I'm grateful everyone here does everything ethically, morally, with integrity, right? We do that. Yes. Just wanted to recap that. So that's how the best way, the holistic, aligned way to achieve your goals and your dreams. That's important. Okay. So with calling in your creations, it starts with mastering the fundamentals. Be willing to master the fundamentals. Say, I check that box that I'm willing to say that I know that I don't know. I don't know what I don't know, and I know that I don't know that I don't know. You have blind spots. You have these unconscious things. You have these areas of life that maybe you haven't quite mastered yet, and it's your responsibility to get everything into alignment. And it could be one belief off, and it could be a chain of things or a series of things that you have to shift to be able to achieve the thing that you want. So that is number one, is be prepared to listen to this and to listen for other people who might have wisdom as well. I'm not saying my answer is the right one by any means, I'm sharing what works for me, and I'm passionate about it. I'm vigilant about sharing it, and I'm determined that people who don't have what they want take a listen to what I have to say, because I'm experiencing some really great results. No, I don't have everything that I want, but I'm experiencing some really great results, and it could open up and ignite some possibility in other people's minds. So the next part of calling in your creations is going to be getting crystal clear on what you want. Without this crystal clarity, without designing it, without checking in with your subconscious, with your higher self, with asking the question, with being curious, with being in wonder about what would it be like, without the crystal clarity on what you want to accomplish, you will probably never get it. What could happen is it might take a really long time. And I think over time in general, your clarity will become clearer. So that could just be that process happening. But also, some people manifest and create things just through energy. It's not that they need to have clarity on what they want, but they need to have clarity on how they want to feel. But I believe it starts with designing what you want in life, whatever that is. It doesn't matter. It's important for you to know, why do I want this, and feeling those feelings of having it and how it feels good and why that's important to you long term and all that good stuff. But getting clear on that end destination. Each of these things that I wanted, I had a specific outcome with Chris and manifesting the legendary house. I knew I wanted to get into a house that I loved. With the what else did I create? I told you a couple things. My mind's blanking. I know I created my dream woman, created the perfect client. I thought there was something else. Anyways, so with Chris, I knew what I wanted, created it. With my amazing girlfriend, I knew what I wanted. I wrote it down and I kept speaking it into existence. Like I had to keep talking about it. I had to keep sharing about it. Otherwise, it's not real. Otherwise, it's not that important to me. Otherwise, the energy I wouldn't plant enough seeds and nurture those seeds enough for it to become a reality, for it to become true. Okay. So get clear on that. Whatever it is that you want, write it down. Start writing it the F down. Okay. And if you don't know specifically what you want, ask yourself, what do I want? And start journaling about it. It's a process. It's an unfoldment. I'm not saying you have to have crystal clarity on the very first go around, very first draft. Even with my perfect client, like I felt when I started creating him, I was like, this is like really vague and not really that clear. But as I search for more questions to ask myself, better prompts, better inquiries, better details to focus on so that I could get clear on this perfect client, I started getting that clarity to be able to call him in, to be able to speak him into existence. And one of the things that happened for me, just a side note, or another important aspect, is as you talk about it more, as you write it more, you will find out what's in alignment with you, what feels good, what is important to you. You might write one time that, your dream woman or dream man, he's a millionaire. Okay. Maybe that's one thing that you write down one time in your journal, but then you never ever write about it again. Why is that? Maybe because it's not that important to you, but you thought it was important to you in the beginning. Or maybe you write it a couple times and then you're like, it really doesn't matter. What do I want to focus on? And then what you'll see happen is your writing will become more refined. Your speaking will become more refined about the things that actually matter to you. Okay. So that's this process of refinement, getting clear on what it is that you truly desire. Now, I told you about mastering the basics. I told you to be open-minded. I also told you about getting clarity. Okay. The big thing with clarity is it helps you know what you want. It helps you, like, your soul, your tractor beam of energy, of creation, calling your creation in, becomes powerful, becomes more directed, becomes more focused, becomes more rapid. Calling in, the function of calling in, you have to know what you're calling. Whether it is joy and love and abundance, and you just call in that more and more into your life, or if it's a specific thing. I want a Mercedes-Benz SL 550, whatever, blah, 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 right? Like that's something that you can call in as well. It doesn't matter which one, whatever feels better to you, whatever feels more in alignment to you. Trust yourself, trust your gut. For me, it was details, having details about what things look like. Right now, my girlfriend and I were creating our next house, right, that we're going to be living in Las Vegas. And that house is the Phoenix Palace. So here's an example of what it might look like speaking as if now, because I've been talking about these things, but here's an example of how you can literally start doing this today using the same language. If you want to create a house, if you want to create your dream client, dream woman. So here's the Phoenix Palace. So we wake up and use we. If you use we, if there's someone else who's important to you, it's really powerful to use we as the collective statement, especially if you're with that person. If you have a business partner, you can say, and we show up to events and people come flocking to us and they say, take my money, right? I want what you have, take my money. So the Phoenix Palace, we wake up in our beautiful bed and the sun is shining through our big windows and we go out onto our balcony and we look at our garden and our pool and we just breathe in that beautiful morning air in Las Vegas or Summerlin, Nevada. We wake up and we do our morning routine together, me and my girlfriend, love of my life. We do our morning routine together and journal and read and meditate. And then we make coffee and breakfast and have that together. And all this time, we don't have our cell phones on. We're completely non-phone activated in the morning and night before bed. So in the morning, we have this delicious breakfast of in our Phoenix Palace, with the beautiful kitchen, because you can get, just a side note, pause the creation. You can talk about different details might resonate with you more. So for me, it might be better to talk about the type of food that we eat there. That might bring me more joy, and that'll activate different senses in my creation. Versus someone, my girlfriend might want to talk more about the design of the kitchen and how the cabinets look and how the marble counters look and etc. Right? So trust yourself and play around with whatever creation that is inspiring for you. Okay, whatever feels good for you, whatever is in alignment, that's what you get to create. Cool, very cool. So here's the thing: you get to. I'm in the meal, eating this delicious breakfast of fresh food, lots of veggies, and really just fueling up for my epic day. Super juiced and excited about that. Cece, what's up? Hope you're having the best day ever. So I get super excited about our day, and I'm looking at this beautiful environment in the Phoenix Palace. I'm so proud of it. And so I go to my office, has a leather chair in it, a big freaking desk with a microphone stand, with great lighting, with an awesome background behind me. And I'm able to make these sales calls. I'm able to do coaching calls. I'm able to record videos. That day, I'm able to record content, and it's for upcoming courses. And I am recording content. I am making sales calls. I am I'm able to versus I am. It's different. Okay, just so you know. I am recording content. I'm recording videos. I'm recording, doing sales calls. I am messaging amazing human beings on my list to stay connected, sending video messages, telling them how much they mean to me, how appreciative I am of them. And there's high ceilings. There's a fan that's going on that makes it feel so good. The microphone has a pop screen, a boom arm. It's freaking amazing. The background behind me can change. It can be my Phoenix logo. It can be white. It can be black. I have all these different kinds of setups. And then I also have a tripod in the corner with our amazing camera to shoot footage for our courses and programs. And it's awesome. Did you know that today is the best day ever? Is that correct or not? Kind of lost track. Semi-link. I love it. People messaging me. Guests. I love our guests. So it's the best day ever, doing all these things. And then at night, what happens is we have a party. We have a party at our house, and everyone comes, and we have these fresh fruits and beautiful, delicious decorations. We got gems and crystals all over. We got our essential oil diffusers, create an amazing environment, and got beautiful pictures up on the walls, and the doors to go outside into our backyard are big, and there's big windows looking into our backyard so that we can see everything that's going on. And it's like very open, spacious place. Our Phoenix Palace is so delicious and amazing. And when everyone arrives, we're having so much fun. There's a bunch of influencers, people who have big networks. They're sharing about all their achievements and accomplishments and things that they're proud of, the things that they've overcome, the exciting vision for their future. And me and my girlfriend, we get to go around and hold space around the house for this amazing, beautiful energy, because that's who we are, and that's what we attract, and that's what we create. So everyone's having a great time, eating delicious, energizing foods, getting to network with other like-minded people. And it's just this space of love, this space of welcoming empowerment. And so after the party ends, me and my girlfriend, we head to bed and we say, wow, this is the best day ever. Didn't we have such an incredible day, honey? And we say yes, and got so much done. We got offers to come on people's shows. We got messages from people telling us how much they love our show, our podcast, our content. And it really is just the most beautiful thing ever. We go to bed. We're laying in bed, doing our nighttime routine. We put our phones away. We're reading together and journaling together. And she is leaning on me as we do our nighttime routine together. And I'm just holding her tightly and so grateful for how amazing our life is and is becoming. And we look at each other and we say, this is just the beginning. So that's an example of a day, very, very brief overview. But did you see all the details that I used? Did you see all the energy that I put into the day, into the dream, into the vision, into that? So that's something that we're doing on a once or twice a week. We talk about, it's probably more often than that actually, but multiple times a week we talk about this Phoenix Palace. And we create it and we say how beautiful it is and how inspiring it is to be with each other. So I highly recommend, whatever it is that you're doing, find people around you who can hold that vision with you, for you, kind of thing, even when you don't hold it for yourself. Like I know when I'm with my girlfriend, she sometimes holds the vision way stronger than me, and I'm just kind of like cruising. And then sometimes she'll be dealing with some stuff or not as happy as she could be, or tired, or whatever, had a challenging day. And then I'll hold the space for the Phoenix Palace and what it's like, and hold that energy. So find an accountability partner, find a significant other, right? It's like easy for you to say, Chris. Find an amazing coach. I'm happy to hold that space for people. I was telling you, I did it for one of my clients yesterday. And I don't know if I said that on this hour, but I said it today. For one of my clients yesterday, she was talking about her dream man and what the experience is like, getting into his car, having him pick her up from the airport, and having an amazing, sensual, delicious night and great evening. And she was just speaking that into existence, creating that. And oftentimes we just don't have that space to do that. We don't have the permission. We don't give ourselves permission. We have been hurt by people in the past, so it's difficult for us to do that, to step into that power, into that greatness that we have, but we forget we have, or we believe that we don't have. So find someone who can hold that space for you. I love doing that for people. I love helping people get clear on their dreams and just speak into a pristine, safe, delicious, empowering, uplifting, emboldening, driving space that gives direction, that gives focus, that gives clarity. And then making micro tweaks on whatever people's speaking and language is to help them create their reality and call in their creation. So I love doing that. But getting back to the overview and point of this is calling in your creations. Why your affirmations haven't been working yet, and what to do about it. Why your affirmations haven't been working is because you're not fully lined up with your creation. You're not willing to do what it takes. You're not willing to invest the time. You're not doing your daily habit or rituals of visualizing, of goal setting, of re-presencing yourself to that, Or you have beliefs in the way that are stopping you from achieve that. You have beliefs in the way that say, I don't deserve that. You have beliefs in the way that says, that's not possible. You have beliefs in the way that says, what's the use? You have beliefs in the way that say, I would rather do something else. You have value misprioritizations. You say, I'd rather go hang out with my friends than take time to focus on my dreams and creating my reality, calling in my reality. You affirm, but you don't believe it. You don't put energy into your affirmations. You don't do different modalities. You only affirm, but you're not willing to journal. You're not willing to go dream build and actually see the place, see the dream woman, put her together. You're not willing to spend the time on it. You're not willing to share about it with other people because you're afraid. You're afraid of getting your dreams crushed or whatever. So you just keep it inside and you never share it. And you feel like you're, not fulfilled. You feel like you don't belong. Like it's just a ridiculous dream or a wish. It's just a wish. It's not even a goal. It's not even a real dream. It's a wish. So that's the challenge that most people are facing with calling in their affirmations and having their affirmations actually work, is that they're not aligned up. They're not willing to take the right actions. They're not willing to follow through on what they said that they were going to do. They're playing small. Maybe they're lost. They think all they have to do is talk about it or affirm, but they're not sure on how to actually break it down into step-by-steps. This probably would have been valuable to cover earlier, but hey, better late than never, right? Right. So there's these challenges. There's these minute details about what gets in the way. Now, even I have challenges that get in my way. Otherwise, I would have everything I want right now, right? But what I'm doing is I'm taking steps every day, writing my goals out, my 12 months, 6 months, 3 months, 1 month goals. I'm writing those out every day to get clear on what I am moving towards, what I want, what are the top 3 things I want at each of those points. So I get to get clarity in that perspective. And then I also am sharing with my girlfriend. I have a very, very powerful, committed listening. She is not willing ever, 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 ever to tolerate me being small. And I'm grateful for that. It sucks sometimes, but I'm grateful for it. It is not comfortable sometimes, but I'm grateful for it. So that is a huge thing for you. If you feel like you're on your own in this journey, you don't have the support that you want, you're not achieving what you want, that is one of the biggest, I think, sabotages, self-sabotages, or things that gets in the way of people actually achieving what they want. They feel alone in their achievement. Now, do people achieve big results on their own? Yes, because they have a winning mindset. They have a lot of these things naturally programmed in. They've already done a lot of the work and they achieve great results. But I'm saying if you want to take that to the next level and really call in your creations, design your reality, and have be and do anything that you want, it's going to take these habits and disciplines of focusing on these things, journaling and speaking about it, getting clear, visualizing, doing the work, healing, forgiving yourself for past wounds so that you become available for the dream, so that you become the person who attracts the dream. Some people say, I don't know if it was Jim Rohn, but some people like him, say that it's not so much about achieving the goal. That's not the most important thing. What the most important thing is who you become in the process of achieving that goal. So who are you becoming? How are you showing up today to be and become the person who deserves and is fulfilled by your creation? Check into that. Take some time. If you have a notepad, write these things down. I've been spewing doesn't sound good. I've been sharing a lot of gold with you about how to actually get what you want in life. Now, it's great to hear it, but it will not make a difference, or at least it makes a difference, but it's great to just listen to this. 100%. Please keep listening to the show. Not condemning that, not going against that. I am fully supportive of you listening to becoming your greatest possible self and doing that in the process. The challenge is some people think just listening and being passive is enough. Incorrect. You must be the leader. You must be the architect. You must be the pilot. You must be the author of your story, the pilot of your life, of your ship, of your plane, getting to your destination called your best life ever, getting to your destination called the perfect house, the perfect woman or man, the perfect whatever, making lots of money, impact, writing a book, being on shows, traveling the world, whatever it is for you. It takes work. It takes time. It takes action. And unless you're willing to do whatever it takes, then there's other things that will be a bigger priority and a bigger value. And depending on how out of alignment your values are with what you want and with what you want and where you are and where you want to go, like it'll take a different amount of time. If you're super in alignment, it'll happen really fast. If you're out of alignment and you're not willing to give up your Netflix, not willing to give up hanging out with certain friends on certain days of the week or every day of the week, you're not willing to give up toxic relationships, you're not willing to give up toxic habits, you're not willing to give up these other things that are keeping you where you are, then it might, one, never happen, or if it does, it might take a lot longer than it would have if you were willing to become the person who attracts and creates that result. So ask yourself, what do I need to let go of? Make a commitment to yourself that you're going to get clear on this. You're going to spend time. You're going to invest in actually creating this and manifesting it, speaking about it, talking about it. Speaking and talking are the same thing, right? Writing about it, journaling about it. Those are kind of the same thing too. Reading about it. I think reading is more passive, but maybe you could read about it and get into more alignment with the process. You could read books about manifestation. You could read books about getting your dream house. You could read books about attracting your dream woman or man. So that's definitely getting into alignment with it, getting more information about it. But really, it's let go. And so once you're doing those actions, what do you have to let go of? What do you have to let go of? The old self. Maybe it's playing small. Maybe it's being comfortable. Maybe it's prioritizing sleep over action, over work ethic, over producing results. What is it that you have to give up to be able to gain what you truly want? And that's the real inquiry to get into on a daily basis. At the minimum, a weekly basis, but on a daily basis. How did I do today? What was my big wins? What were my learning lessons? What will I not do next time? What will I do differently next time? How will I show up as my greatest possible self even more next time? So check in with yourself on that and give yourself the space to be and become your greatest possible self by calling in your reality. Anything you want is at the tips of your fingers. The question is, how are you going to show up with that? How are you going to respond to this information? Knowing doesn't make a difference. Taking action on these concepts, getting clearer on what you want is what makes a difference. Surrounding yourself with new people, getting into new environments, having new habits, new behaviors that match the reality that you want is what it will take. The behaviors that someone who owns a beat up 1995 Honda Civic, the behaviors of that person are radically different. Behaviors and thoughts and emotions are radically different than the person who owns, let's say, a multi-million-dollar mansion and a Rolls Royce. The behaviors are radically different. The person driving the 1995 beat-up car probably self-sabotages, numbs, does silly things, does toxic behaviors, hangs around toxic people. The other person might do some of those things, but they're more in alignment with productivity, with generating value, with producing results, with staying focused, with being clear, with being the person that it takes to achieve those things. They whether it happened automatically or deliberately, that person is definitely more of those things than the person driving the 95 beat up car. So that is calling in your creations. And it starts with getting clear. Without the clarity, if you can't name it, then you don't have power over it. If you can name it, if you can name what your dream woman or man looks like, if you can name what the interior design of your Phoenix Palace, that's my Phoenix Palace. You could call it a Phoenix Palace too. Maybe that'll make my Phoenix Palace happen even faster. So if you want to call your house Phoenix Palace and my house comes faster and it's an even better house because of it, cool, do it. Knowing the interior design, knowing the layout, knowing the specific things that are non-negotiables and negotiables, that's another thing. Get clear on what you are non-negotiable about. I am non-negotiable that I'm going to earn $600,000 this year. I wanted to say six figures, but I said $600,000 this year. Okay, if that is your non-negotiable, what are the non-negotiable activities that have to happen? And what are the negotiable activities that will support it? Because a lot of people are not clear on that. And a lot of that takes discovering what your goal is and what you have to do to achieve it, what you have to take action on, knowing your numbers, knowing your law of averages. If you do this X amount of times, you're going to get X amount of clients, you're going to get X amount of dollars, you're going to get X amount of progress, and just know the formula, know what you're doing, know how long it's going to take and how much effort and energy you got to put in. Super duper critical. So again, if you want help to call in your creations, if you want help on getting clear on what it is that you're going for, what you want, and how you're going to get there, send me a message on facebook.com/th3burns, or you can send me an email, burnandlearnnow@gmail.com, or Chris@B or GPS, either one works. So send me a message, get in contact with me. Would love to hear from you and hear how you are calling in your creations. Be sure to comment in the blog post, or if you see the replay, whatever it might be. Let us know what you're valuing the most about this, how you're calling in your creations, and keep us posted. And today is the best day ever. Let's start your 21-day challenge. Let's start calling in your creations, and know that you have the support and help that you need. Reach out, ask for help. We're here for you. I'm here for you. Other people are here for you, whether you realize it or see it or not. And just trust the process. Have patience with yourself. Love yourself. Appreciate yourself. Do the work, and you will experience the reward.